Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Frank, this will be from 200 yards, second shot. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Now back over to the fourth. So up to this point, Frank, our featured golfer has been holding steady.
Posturing, you might want to say there. But you can only posture for so long. You're going to have to see a spark pretty soon. Otherwise, there's going to be too much to catch up.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Frank, what are we looking at here on the second shot to the fourth?
Another green with 3 different levels. This time, though, the green runs away a lot from the right towards the left. You cannot afford to miss the green on the right. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. And from the rough, he manages to not only make the green, but get within easy striking distance of the hole. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Frank, not surprisingly, Rory McIlroy owns the event record here, 21 under par. That came in 2015. He won by a touchdown by 7 shots. And then we all remember what he did here in 2010.
Yeah, remember the runner-up, which was Patrick Rogers. He shot 14 under. And that's won just about every other championship at this event. So it shows you the magnitude of Rory's victory. An artist needs a canvas, a golfer needs a golf course. For Rory McIlroy, Quail Hollow was the perfect landscape to show his skills.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Frank, I thought that was in. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Well, that's how you keep a round going. Make putts just like that. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McILROy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron where a lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Getting set now over the putt. Has his par. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6, and a 7, and an 8, or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, the 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on do you go for this par 5 and 2. It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. Oh, look out. This could be wet, Frank. Frank, I hate to go negative, but let's clear a few things up. The penalties when you hit it in the water versus hitting it out of bounds.
Yeah, some people, that's a good question, Rich, because some people think they're almost the same, but when you hit it out of bounds, you're actually losing a stroke and a distance. For example, if I'm teeing off on a par 4 and I hit it out of bounds, I'm penalised a stroke for hitting it out of bounds, and I'm hitting my third shot off the tee. When I hit it into a water hazard, I don't have to lose all of that distance. I can drop the ball up just short of the water hazard. So the distance penalty isn't the same as if it was out of bounds.
This now the 4th shot after the last one was in the water.
Yeah, just somehow just get it on the green.
That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Good putt. Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4/8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. So they'll tap in. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Well, Frank, what do you think of the 9th hole here at Quail Hollow?
Oh, I think it's a beauty, Rich. One of those long nice drawing tee shots. 500 yards is a par 4. You have to hit a good drive down there. The fairway doesn't camber that much. Hole does dogleg to the left. Big advantage for a big tee shot here.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. That was not a very good read right there.
It's no snack, though. Now, that was a tricky one, but it's in.
Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Here we are on the back nine now at Quail Hollow, and a good scoring opportunity to kick off the inward nine.
It is, Rich. It's sort of reminiscent of the 10th hole at Valhalla. Remember the challenge, or should I say the charge, that Rory McILROy started that in that very hole when he made eagle. It's the same opportunity here. Reachable par 5, just under 600 yards, but you really could get off to a great start.
So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait. And at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Well, Frank, you hate to miss the green on a par 5 with your third shot.
They say par 5s are the easiest holes to birdie, but the hardest holes to make 4. Making a 6, though, that certainly sets yourself backwards. So tough up and down.
And he's made it onto the green. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That is a solid par putt. Now to the par 4 11. Frank, what do you think of this hole?
It's an interesting hole, Rich, and I'm curious to see how aggressive players will play here today. The easy way, obviously, is just hit it down the right side and set up a nice second shot with a short iron. Or the most fun way is to take the big stick out and try and bite off as much of that corner as you choose, but be prepared to pay the price should it not come off.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. Ooh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Frank, we remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010, his first PGA Tour victory, a 62 in the final round. It was also the first victory for Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, and oddly enough, it was in a playoff. And in that playoff, Ricky just pulled out a driver and smashed it down there, then hit a sand iron walked that front left flag, basically to gimme distance. Not only did he win in the playoff, but he beat Rory McILROy, the then world number one in DA points. And that was the same Ricky Fowler that, remember, in the playoff in 2015 for the Players' Championship, drove the ball in equally daunting fashion over those 3 playoff holes at TPC Sawgrass.
Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Come on, don't do that.
Cruel lip out.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Did the job right there. Here we are now at the 12th, and Frank, this is a beautiful but dangerous hole, par 4.
It is in a number of ways. The hole bends gently to the right, which you'd think would favor a nice little fade, but the fairway just seems to shrink up. I've seen this fairway missed by so many good players. And plus its yardage, 450 odd. You can't really lay back too far, otherwise you've got too long for your second shot.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Pretty good shot right there. And getting ready for the putt. They'll take it. That's a par. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The 2 greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a green side bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. You see that kind of work from the bunker, you think of the greats like Seve Ballesteros and Gary Player, the best bunker players of all time. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Well, now we come to the really interesting 345-yard par 4 14th. Frank, I'm thinking that if you're leading, you're probably not going to try to drive this and take on the risk with the water on the left. But if you're behind, you have a chance to make up some ground.
Yeah, I have it written in my yardage book, Rich, on this hole. Only good and bad things happen with the driver. Nothing in between. That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Gimme, but well within his range. no problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
We're now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
Now the all-important approach to this, the final par 5 at Quail Hollow. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Wow, what a shot.
What are the chances of making it from there?
This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot.
This one doesn't look good. Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
So this is his 4th shot after the last one found the water.
Yeah, it's not all over, but right now, too, he's staring down the barrel of a very bad hole.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Locked in on the read and the speed.
Now, with 9 holes to go, bogeys become so much more expensive.
Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee and you better hit a good shot.
Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot. It's that sneaky distance.
Oh, I thought he had that. That's just a poor putt right there. No other way to say it. And a drop shot, a bogey at 17.
Even par currently.
So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area. just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish. This is not heading in the right direction.
Looks like it's going to be in the rough. Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. It wasn't that hard a shot. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Frank, they gave us a great show today.
No, they certainly did. Course played well. You got what you deserved out there.
Some outstanding performances. And for our entire team, I'm Rich Lerner, saying so long for now.